Hello folks, just want to give you a little update on the Seat Mii, the whole Cinch debacle. For those of you that didn't see the first video, I bought a car from Cinch, bought a little Seat Mii Electric as a second car for us here. If I'm doing local trips, I'll usually take that. If I'm doing longer distance trips, I'll be using the Tesla. Then the other car's available for my wife, who's also a director in my business. It's also another car that I get to make some content with, so that's all good. And there were problems. It had reversing sensors hanging out. I initially couldn't get it to charge. A couple of other little bits and bobs, and I was going to send the car back. So I put a video out about that at 5 o'clock on whatever evening it was. Let's say, for example, it was Tuesday evening. On Wednesday morning at 9 o'clock, I got a call from like the head of Cinch customer service, I believe, someone very high up in Cinch on the customer service side. And I immediately said, "Have you seen my video?" And he sort of said, "What video? Have you sent us a video of the issues or whatever?" And I said, "No, a video that I've published." And he said, "I'm afraid I don't know what you're talking about." Anyway, we had a little chat, and he said, "You don't have to wait 3 weeks for this repair to be done. We're going to get it done urgently for you. We're going to send our top man out to do it." And he said he's going to come out to you on Sunday. So instead of waiting for 3 weeks, he's going to come out to you on Sunday and do the job. He called me back later in the day just to go over a couple of things. And I said to him, "I've really got to push you on this video thing, because I feel like not everyone that makes a complaint to Cinch gets a call from someone in your position." And he said, "No, that's very true." He said, "I am now aware of the video. I've been filled in after we had a chat. You know, I've sort of asked about it." He said, "But first thing this morning, I got a message from our boss to say I needed to call you and make you happy." So what I've had since is probably not typical of Cinch if you've had a problem with Cinch. But I have to say, I've obviously had some sort of red carpet treatment, and it's been pretty good. But still, there are issues. So where do we go now? So on the Sunday, one of their guys, a guy called 𝘼𝙁𝙁𝙁𝙄, came out. The nicest man on the face of the earth, lovely fella, did the job with the parking sensors. They were both inside the bumper, as I sort of suspected, because when you put the car into reverse, the sensors just stayed on. So they were obviously detecting something. And it seems the rear bumper had a bit of paint. I guess it was scuffed when it came in. It had a bit of paint, and the people in the paint shop just hadn't done a great job of putting the sensors back in. So he dealt with that for me, asked if there's anything else I could do. Just the nicest guy, brilliant bloke. He said Cinch have 8 of those vans out on the road, and they're looking to expand it so that when people do have problems, so they can come out and deal with things in a convenient way, rather than what they used to do, which was uplift the car, take it back to their premises, do everything that needed doing, and then bring the car back to you. And you either got a courtesy car or you left without a car. So having it done on your driveway is much more convenient. However, before 𝘼𝙁𝙁𝙁𝙁 turned up, a couple of days before, I noticed there was actually a scuff on the glass as well. Obviously, I'd hardly driven the car because I was going to send it back. So I noticed this sort of scuff on the glass on the windscreen. So I raised that, and 𝘼𝙁𝙁𝙁𝙁 took some pictures of it, and Cinch immediately came back and said, "Look, we're going to get you a new windscreen." They deal with Auto Glass. Auto Glass promised to call me, I don't know how many times, and didn't. They've then been trying to use National Windscreens. They've called me this morning, National Windscreens, and said, "Yeah, we can do that for you, no problem. We can do it on your drive, but you need to have it calibrated afterwards, because there's a front-mounted camera for like the cruise control and a couple of other bits. So that needs to be calibrated." And I live basically in Bournemouth, just outside Bournemouth, and the options for me were Bristol, Exeter or Basingstoke. Now Basingstoke would probably be the quickest one to get to, but it's an hour and 20 minutes, hour and a half, something like that. And then I've got to sit there while it's being done, and then an hour and a half back. That's essentially a day out for me. And I don't need to have a day out to fix something that Cinch should have done before the car came to me, because it wasn't listed on the original listing for the car. So I've just left a voicemail for my contact at Cinch just to say, you know, we need to go to plan B, because I'm not having that. I don't know what plan B is yet. I might get them to just give me the money to have the windscreen done, and when I'm passing Basingstoke at some point in the future, I'll just get it done then. Or I'll just find someone else to do it locally. Because it just seems daft. Like, national windscreens, I mean, there's a national windscreens in Poole that's like probably 15 minutes drive from my house, yet they can't evidently calibrate a camera there. It sounds fishy to me. I'm sure they can, but I don't know. Anyway, I've left a message for Cinch on that front. Now, also, yesterday, I took the car for a spin around the block. Now, I've had press cars for the last couple of weeks. I'm sitting in one now. I'm sitting in the EV6 GT right now. So I haven't been driving that Seat Mii. And when I did drive the Seat Mii, the weather was pretty atrocious. So I haven't really used the aircon. And yesterday was like the hottest day of the year. I took the Seat Mii out for 10 minutes and it just didn't get very cold at all. So I've spoken to Cinch about that and just said, look, I think the aircon needs a regas. What are we going to do about that? And he said, oh, send Norbert out again, and he's going to come and do it on Saturday, which is, I'm filming this on Wednesday. He's coming out on Saturday, so can't grumble with that. By the way, I'm sitting in this right now because my office is so hot today, the computer's actually switched itself off twice, and it's so uncomfortable in there. I thought I'm going to go and sit in that lovely, luxurious car with really cool aircon. And I then said, you know, it's time we discuss some compensation. Now, I'm not going to tell you the amount of compensation that I've been offered, but I'm very happy with it, all right? And I'm not telling you how much I've been offered, because I might be getting offered more because I can make a YouTube video. The things that I have to say about that offer is it's what I asked for. There was no kind of haggle. I asked for an amount and they said, yeah, that's fine. We feel like you have been massively inconvenienced and we think that's fair. And at no point has anyone from Cinch asked me to take down a video. Have they asked me to put anything in the video? They didn't say, you can have it if you don't slag us off in a video or anything like that. And I think that's testament to them, because I think a lot of companies would have done. I think a lot of companies would have said, you can have this amount of money if you don't say anything nasty about us. And there's just no way I would agree to that. Once again, everyone I've spoken to at Cinch, shout out to Matt, my contact there, also to Rudy, a guy I was dealing with in the call centre. They're so polite and so eager to help. It's just on this occasion, this second part of the drama, if you like, not that it's really a drama, has been caused by a supplier of theirs. And even yesterday, they couldn't even get through to one of the windscreen firms that they were trying to speak to. And it's just the way of the world nowadays. Companies just don't seem to do customer service, do they? And these windscreen companies certainly don't seem to. So although I initially got a car from Cinch that had issues, I think the handover should have dealt with the charging thing. That happened to just be like a switch in the car. That's the weirdest thing I've ever seen, to stop charging. And the fact that you need to use the app to get the thing to charge at its maximum capacity, that should have been dealt with at handover. So hopefully they've taken some learning from that. Hopefully next time they deliver an electric Citigo or Seat Mii or VW up, that's something they address during that handover process. The parking sensors, I dare say, were in place when they left the Cinch depot, because they were just sitting inside the bumper, and as Norbert told me himself, they just hadn't been put in very well. The guys had literally just pushed them back in, and he said you actually need to use quite a lot of pressure on the little retaining clips to hold it in, and that hadn't been done. So I dare say it probably left their facility with those parking sensors in place, and they probably dropped out within 5 minutes of the driver taking it up the road. It was one actually, but I'm saying they because one of the other ones was loose. When Norbert took the bumper off, he said, here's the first one, but this second one's really loose, and so I'm going to do that one for you as well. And then the windscreen thing, they literally just haven't picked that up during their inspection, which amazes me, because they really should have done. There was also a little trim piece missing from the boot, which I got on eBay for like £6. So yes, it had problems, but the service I've had since reporting those problems has been decent. Like, it really has been decent. What happens next, we'll have to wait and see. So just to give you a recap, because I understand I've blabbered on in this video, the parking sensors have been dealt with. The charging issue I've fixed myself ages ago. So I'm currently waiting for a replacement windscreen that I'm not going to drive to Basingstoke to get calibrated, and the aircon to be regassed, which has been done on Saturday, and then I need to receive the money that they've promised me as compensation for the aggro that I've had. And then at the end of that, I've got a little car that's going to be dirt cheap to run, it's really cheap to insure, that serves us really well. I must admit, since we've had that, the amount of times that's sitting there and the Tesla sitting there, and either me or my wife will take that, just because it's so easy to drive around town. It's just a laugh, really. And it is quite cool, the fact that it's got next to bugger all in it. You know, it's got no, it's just not a luxurious place to be. I mean, I'm sitting here now in a £63,000 car with a lovely interior that goes like a rocket, and it puts a massive smile on my face when I drive it. But that little thing also puts a smile on my face, that little lady shopper, you know, with 80-something horsepower. So yeah, cars can be fun despite not having lots of bells and whistles or power, and that thing is testament to it, really. There we go. I just wanted to give you a little update. Lots of people have asked me since I made that last video what the current state of play is. That is the current state of play. Once everything's sorted, I'll do another video, and of course I'm yet to do like a full review on that little 𝙰𝙁. So that will be coming in the fullness of time for you. Thanks ever so much for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. I really need as many subscribers as possible, and please watch the videos, give them a thumbs up, leave a comment if you'd like to, and I'll see you on the next one.